Captain America. You love rules, order, and probably have a flag of some kind in your room. Superman. You pretend to be humble, but deep down, you know you're superior. You think you're the center of every story. Iron Man. You have at least one overpriced gadget that you refuse to shut up about. You claim to be a genius, but you still call IT support when your computer freezes. Invincible. You cheer for Mark like he's your own son, but deep down you know he's just a human-shaped punching bag with optimism. You relate to getting beaten down by life, except without the superpowers. Cyclops. You follow the rules even when no one is watching. You probably remind the professor they forgot to assign homework. Flash. You have zero patience and even less impulse control. You make decisions in half a second and regret them for years. Spider-Man. You make life harder than it needs to be. You definitely overuse memes and have no idea how to react to a sincere compliment. Cyborg. You're a tech-obsessed loner who hides behind gadgets because feelings are too hard. Omni-Man. Your solution to every problem? Punch first, ask questions never. Professor X. You're the know-it-all who thinks they can fix everyone's problems with wisdom. You love to play therapist for your friends, even when they didn't ask for it. Aquaman. You spend way too much time reminding people that Aquaman is actually cool. You're way too into the ocean and act like swimming makes you superior. Wolverine. You've probably got more body hair than is socially acceptable. Vision. You're the person who thinks they're the voice of reason in every argument. You think you're profound, but you're just a walking Siri. Robot. You relate to Rudy way too much. Not because you're smart, but because you also struggle with talking to people like a normal human being. Martian Manhunter. You're the quiet one who claims to be mysterious, but really you're just awkward and don't know how to interact with people. Ant-Man. You're the one who always has a random fact or strange story to share, even when no one asked. Daredevil. You apologize to God for things that haven't even happened yet. John Constantine. You're a chain-smoking dirtbag who blames demons for your shitty choices. You're the friend who bails when it counts, then smirks like it's cool. Thor. You don't just say things, you declare them. You've definitely agreed to something without fully understanding it. Robin. You've definitely attempted a backflip in a completely unnecessary situation. You say, "I got this," a lot, but you absolutely do not got this. Atom Eve. You spend all your time arguing that Eve is objectively more powerful than Mark. Nobody is even disagreeing with you, but you keep yelling anyway. Hulk. You think smashing is a personality trait, and you've definitely punched a wall or two. You're usually calm, but once someone ticks you off, it's like World War III. Green Arrow. You always have a plan, but somehow it's never the right one. Scarlet Witch. You're convinced you're psychic and probably think you can read people's auras. Immortal. You will verbally obliterate anyone who calls the Immortal useless. You insist that the Immortal should have more screen time, like he hasn't spent half his appearances getting murdered. Captain Marvel. You're convinced you're destined for greatness and probably bring it up every chance you get. Storm. You think you can control the room's vibe just by walking in, and you probably take the weather way too personally. The Punisher. You solve every problem with extreme violence. You get furious over slow internet and mismatched socks. Every minor inconvenience is an all-out war. Falcon. You're always there to lend a hand, even if it means sacrificing your own plan. Rex Explode. You're the guy who always cracks jokes, but no one is actually laughing. Deadpool. You're that friend who always pushes the joke too far. You'll say anything for a laugh, even if it means offending everyone in the room. Supergirl. You're probably the person who goes on about being just as good as the guys while simultaneously reminding everyone you're not like other girls. Shazam! You're always cracking jokes at the worst times and think people love it, but they're just cringing. Jean Grey. You suppress every emotion until they explode in the most dramatic way possible. You claim to be in control, but we all know you're one bad day away from burning everything down. Green Lantern. You think your imagination is your greatest asset, but most of your big plans stay in your head. Doctor Strange! You love making people feel small with your intellectual wisdom and probably own a crystal or two. Rogue! You're the friend who always pulls away right when things get serious. Luke Cage! You're the friend who's always looking out for everyone, but mostly it's just because you're nosy. Black Panther! You're the one who always insists on doing things the right way because that's how it's always been done. You probably have a family recipe that you guard like a national treasure. Wonder Woman! You act like you don't need anyone, but deep down you love when people admire you. Iron Fist! You've convinced yourself you're a martial arts master just because you took a few kickboxing classes. Catwoman! You're probably the friend who casually steals stuff from other people's houses and then acts like it's just your personality. Beast! You're the intellectual of the group, always dropping random facts no one asked for. Jessica Jones! You're convinced you're tough, but you've definitely had at least one meltdown over something as small as a broken coffee mug. Black Widow! You're the friend who keeps their emotions locked up tighter than Fort Knox, and probably have a list of people you'd take down if given the chance. Starfire! You're that friend who genuinely believes a smile can solve everything, no matter how serious the problem.